Hi crafty friends! Okay, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited. I feel like I haven't talked to you all in so long or crafted. So I am going to show you several cards for this set, which is the December 2017 card kit from Simon Says Stamp. There were such cute images, lots of things you can do with this, so hopefully this video will inspire you in a few different ways that maybe you haven't seen yet. I am going to be doing a masking technique first, and I'm going to be making one traditional kind of Christmas tree and one more of an elegant Christmas tree masking. I've stamped out 3 of the images, and I want those to be in the front. So once I get them stamped out in the Versamark ink, Versa Fine ink rather, I'm going to use some clear heat embossing, and I'm going to make sure that I heat set that so that when I'm coloring, it helps me stay within the lines. All my coloring for these trees, I'll be using some Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. So then I use some Post-it tape, which is full sticky on the back, and a little tip there is I cut them out 3 at a time, so it makes it a lot easier. And then I just start masking and stamping, masking and stamping. So very symmetrical card here. I like the way it turned out. It just shows a pile of trees. Now I'm going to get to my coloring. Because this video was originally 2 hours and 48 minutes for all the cards, I decided to knock it down to about 17 minutes. Still don't know how I did that, but I'm guessing it was a lot of the speeding up and skipping some things that you don't really need to see over and over. So I'll show you how I color a few of these trees. I'm going to outline where I would like the darkest part, which is the shading, and then I'm going to take my watercolor brush and I'm just going to fill that in. You can see this is blending beautifully. I only use one color, and the reason that it's going so well is because I'm using Bristol Smooth cardstock. So I definitely can't recommend that enough. It really makes this so easy. And in fact, I go through, as I was kind of getting smart with it, I was doing all my marker highlights first and then going back and doing all the coloring, and it didn't dry on me, so I could still blend it. On this set of trees, I used a much brighter green. I just kind of wanted to show you that real quick. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do here is I am going to use a Versamark pen, and I'm going to draw inside those stars. I want to make those stars with some embossing powders, this really bright, glittery gold embossing powder from Recollections. And I am going to do this twice because the first time I did it, I felt it just wasn't thick enough. And so I don't show you, but I went back in and there's the second coat. And as you can see, it's just super bright and shiny, and that Versamark pen makes it so easy. I'm going to cut both of these panels down with some Lawn Fawn stitched rectangle dies. And then I'm going to go in the back of this one, some light blue, just to outline those trees. I use my light blue Zig marker, and then I'm going to take a water brush and just blend that out. Now on the second set, or the second card that I did, which is the silver, I used silver stars on the one to the left. You can see it in the frame. That one was a little bit trickier. In fact, I wanted to get a night sky, and I started mixing the colors. So I would use a darker blue, medium blue, light blue, and I got this hot mess right here. So to fix that, I actually just heat set it, and then I pulled out some old-fashioned, lovely Distress inks. And I pulled out, I believe it was Faded Jean or Chip Sapphire first, and I blended that out, and then I topped it off with some black soot, and that was able to help me get that night sky that I was looking for. And that was it. That kind of fixed my mistake. But hey, you got to try things, you know, you got to take chances. So here's a stamp set from, I believe it was the February card kit for Hero Arts, and I pulled out this little snowflake stamp set, and that was really cute. I added some white snow, just flurries, I guess. Hey, side note, well, I'll get to that side note in just a second. Right here, I am using my jewel picker, and I'm taking those confetti sequins that came with the kit, putting down some multimedia matte, and then just plopping them right on there. That couldn't have been easier. So that did not take time at all. It looks like it did because of all those sequins, but it really was no time at all. And so this card right here, you can see I use the clear sequins to give us a little bit more of an elegant look with the gold. All right, so that's those 2 colors, 2 cards rather. Card number 2, we're going to see a little bit more masking with some of the images in the card. I'm using Santa, his wife, and a little cat. I believe that's what I use here. So I get that all stamped out using my Mini Misty, and then I'm going to mask those off as well and fussy cut those masks. Placing down my mask, I then stamp the tree, so the tree is behind the kitty, and then I'm going to mask those off too because I'm going to work on my background. I pull out an oldie but a goodie, and it's going to be my Stampin' Up! Woodgrain background stamp. Beautiful background. And at first I was going to put the background stamp down on my image, but then realized that I can't tell if it's straight. So I decided to turn it over and place the image cardstock over it. So you can see me do that. Now let me get back to my side note. I'm in Florida and it was 34 degrees this morning. I just want to tell you, that was a shocker. We were talking about snow flurries, and I believe it flurried last night. And everyone over in Texas, all my shout out to my Texas peeps who never get snow, I'm seeing all the Facebook posts. Actually, I did not realize I had that many friends in Texas. But I hope you're enjoying the snow out there. We definitely miss it. I hope to get back to a place that snows. My kids, of course, are begging me until they go outside, and then they're like, can we go back to Hawaii? Okay, so back to my card here. You saw I used some Distress Oxide, blended out that color, and then I pulled off my masks. It always looks wonderful. I love when you get to do that. This paper pad is from Whimsy. I called it Whimsy. I named it myself. I think this is from Love Nicole. I got that at AC Moore. And I'm just pulling out some paper from it. I am sorry if you like it when people stay strictly within the card kit. I just find sometimes that restricts my creativity, and then I end up doing stuff that's just kind of the same. So I have to use some of my other supplies in order for me to really mix it up. So I pulled out these little dies from Love Nicole. Again, got those at the craft store. And I am cutting out Joy with some of that background paper as well. So here, all I'm doing is layering. It's very simple. I actually do a lot of layering in this card kit. And the Joy, you could see that I actually used some red paper to back that white Joy so that it stood out just a little bit. And now I'm using some multimedia matte to put those letters down, and that's going to make this card pretty much done. Very simple, fun to do, not clean and simple, but it was definitely not that difficult. Just a little time consuming for the coloring, but if you love to color, then you'll love this kit, that's for sure. All right, so we're moving on to the next card here. And I am going to do some fun, a little bit of interaction, peekaboo-ness. I am using some more, actually these are not, I believe these are Spellbinders square dies. I got these years ago. And I am going to cut down some more of that paper that came with the kit. And I'm going to do some partial die cutting. Do you see I stopped the plates right there so that I could then take my score with my Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer and the score little button, if you will. I'm just going to score along that square so that I could easily bend it. If you don't score it and you try to bend it, you sometimes ripple your paper and it doesn't look as nice. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to back that with some white cardstock because I felt it was a little too flimsy, that regular paper, pattern paper. And so I am backing that, and then I'm going to place it on another piece of pattern paper from the kit. So I definitely used most of my pattern paper from this kit. I'm pulling out one of those stamps from the kit. It says, all I want for Christmas is cookies and you, basically everything sweet. And then on the inside, I'm going to use those stickers that came with it. And I love those stickers. They're so cute. And I fill that up with some cookies and a candy cane. On the next card here, you can actually see me put it together. So I'm just placing that down with some Tombow mono adhesive and then placing the next panel down. And so when you open it, you could peekaboo to the backside pattern paper. And then this one is going to be 2 little coffee cups. So super adorbs. I pulled out my Fiskars stamp set here. I got this at the craft store, I believe, 50% off. Now here, if you're giving out awards, check this out. Boom. Double Stampin' on itself with no Misty. People, don't try that at home. Not if you're down to like your last piece of paper that you're using, because it was a dangerous game I was playing. However, I had lots of white, so I figured why not. And it worked. So if you're looking for to give awards for the luckiest people, I think I would be one with that. Okay, so that finishes off that card. We are moving along to the next card. I found that I had a little bit of trouble using this glitter paper. Can you believe that? I never have trouble, but I think with this kit, I don't know what was going on with my brain. But I decided to try to get outside the box, and I flipped over the glitter cardstock. I stamped the tree, and then I cut the tree out because I wanted to make some little bit of elegance cards. So there's my 3 trees. And I'm going to pull out another old paper pad that I had. I believe this is from Recollections as well. And there's a lot of glitter paper in here. So I pulled out a bunch of sheets, and I'm going to use this paper, some circle dies. And I'm going to cut out big and smaller circles. This way I can layer them. While I was doing this video, my phone battery was dying, and so it popped up with that little notification that said, your battery's about to die. And so I was like, dismissed, and then I thought I fixed the screen on my phone. But apparently I had to stop the video and then come back to it. So at some point I'm going to go live here to show you what I did. On this back gray paper, which is from Recollections, I dry embossed these snowflakes with an embossing folder, as you saw. And then I used some white ink just to cover that over, and I thought that was a really cool look. Here's the finished cards, because this is where my video quit out on me. And I'm just pointing out that I popped up those circles, layered them down. On the bottom I used the sentiment, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, and that was from Hampton Art, I believe, and I will show you that in a second. But I just used the same gray as the background to cut out that rectangle and use that sentiment. I finished it off with some Nuvo Crystal Clear Drops. These are the white, and those were my ornaments, and I love those 3 cards. I thought they turned out really nice. I actually could mass produce these cards fairly easily, so I'm probably going to make about 20 more of those. I thought they were fun. I don't mind sitting down watching TV and doing some fussy cutting, so that was probably the most time-consuming part of that. So those will probably be my mass-produced cards. All right, and here we go with the next cards. We are going to do some very, very simple layering. So I used a lot of my dies from Lawn Fawn large and small stitched rectangle dies, and I just cut out a whole bunch of paper. So I'm trying to use up that pack. And I'm layering down all of these pieces here, and I'm going to make this very simple. One of those sheets that came with that paper pack had a bunch of sentiments on it, and these like tag looking things. So I cut them all out into their own shape because you'll see if you have this kit what I'm talking about. And then I just used the sentiments and I used the tags from that piece of paper. It made these 2 extremely easy, and that's why they do that. Sometimes you just need what I call a wiffle ball card. Something that's just really simple, really easy to do, and you can just get them done. So there you go. That was probably the fastest card you've ever seen on my channel. So easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So we're going to move on to the last card, and I am going to use up all that extra paper. Pull out those Lawn Fawn cloud dies, and I'm matching up some colors and just getting 3 clouds to a set. And I'm getting myself all situated here because I thought that would be really random and really cute, and I have no idea where my brain was during this card. Christmassy pattern paper clouds. Yep, that'll do it. All right, so here we go. The green was boring to me. So I am using some Whispers embossing powder that's sparkly, and I am heat setting that. You can heat set from the back if you didn't know. It doesn't blow your powder all over the place. But I did notice that I got some spots on by doing it from the back there. I think that might have burnt some of the paper, so just be careful. I'm layering these ones down flat and then cutting off that excess. But the next card that I'm going to do, because I did 2 or 3 of each of these cards, as you probably picked that up already, I am going to pop up with some foam mounting tape. So I'm placing that down, and then I cut that. Now here we have 2, the dog and the cat, super duper cuties that I fussy cut out, colored with my zigs, and I'm placing them in the clouds. So they're having a good time up there. No idea why, no rhyme or reason, but they're chilling. And my sentiments for these little guys, little guy and little girl, I think, are going to come from the same paper that came in the kit with the sentiments. So I just used those up and placed them right there on the card. Made it easy. I didn't have to stamp those out. I just glued them straight down. And then my final touches that I did for these cards, I used some fun foam to mount them up so that they popped up just a little bit, gave them some fun dimension. And then I'm going to do some little details on the dog and the cat. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out my glaze pen and I'm going to highlight the eyes and the noses of both animals. And then that dog has some little spots on his rear end. I'm going to highlight with the glaze pen as well. I'm going to do that in black. And then I take some stickles in the, diamond stickles, and I'm going to highlight the hat and the little ball at the end of the hat. And that'll add just some fun to those little critters. Easy stuff. But I thought that I would say made it sparkle, but I think the background on the paper made it sparkle just as much. All right, so that's it. Those are the cards. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for stopping by. I always have such a blast with all of you. Please leave me comments. Thumbs up if you like the video. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I will list everything below that I used. I hope you are all having a fantastic December thus far. I will see you back soon in the next video. Bye-bye.